I don't know kung ako lang ba, but one thing that I have observed is as I grow older, I'm no longer expecting for grand celebrations every time magbe-birthday ako.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to me.
Let's go! Today is my birthday and welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'd like to share with you 27 things that I learned as I turned 27 today. First things first. I'm really grateful because you're here as I share these things that I've learned. And sana maging blessing ito at may matutunan ka. And I hope that some of these lessons can also be applied sa buhay mo. I don't know kung ilang taon ka na. Pwedeng mas bata ka sa akin, mas matanda ka sa akin, or magkasing edad lang tayo. But these lessons are the things that I have garnered and learned over the past 27 years of my existence. Pwedeng magbago to in the next coming years. Pwedeng may mga ma-adjust, may mga ma-twist kapag mas tumanda-tanda ako. And to be honest, I don't know kung ako lang ba, but one thing that I have observed is as I grow older, I'm no longer expecting for grand celebrations every time magbe-birthday ako. And like when I was younger, super excited ako kasi I am like really looking forward kung ano yung handa, saan kami kakain, ano yung magiging regalo na matatanggap ko, and all of those stuff. But right now, on my 27th year, I'm grateful in everything, pero it's just like an ordinary day na lang. And in fact, papasok rin naman ako ng trabaho, matutulog, kakain, mag-gym. The only difference is I made this video. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So since it's 27, I divided all of these lessons into 3 parts. Number 1, professional lessons. Number 2, personal lessons. And number 3, practical lessons. So let's start with the professional lessons that I learned over the past 27 years. Number 1, velocity is the top priority. When you say velocity is the top priority, pagdating sa trabaho or when it comes to your professional life, time is a very, very important commodity. So with that being said, speed can be a very big competitive advantage compared to your other competitors. Ang daming mga customers ang pumupunta sa ibang mga suppliers, sa ibang mga sellers dahil ang tagal nating mag-reply sa mga increase nila. Ang daming mga clients ang napupunta sa ibang mga projects instead na mag-inquire sila sa atin because ang tagal natin silang i-entertain, ang tagal nating mag-respond. Ang daming mga opportunities ang nasasayang because of procrastination. And procrastination can be one of the factors kung bakit nahihirapan tayo na habulin at i-achieve yung mga bagay na gusto nating marating. So that's why when it comes to the professional world, I believe that velocity should be a top priority. But of course, just to clarify, it's not just about the speed. It is also about the quality. Kasi it wouldn't make any sense naman kung puro bilis lang and then wala rin namang quality. But you know what I mean. Kahit gaano ka pa kagaling, kahit gaano ka pa ka-talented, kung sobrang bagal natin kumilos at mag-respond sa mga bagay-bagay, maraming mga opportunities ang mamimiss natin. Number 2, make mistakes fast and move on. Hindi maiiwasang magkamali sa buhay, sa personal nating mga decisions, sa practical na aspeto. And of course, even sa work. Ang dami nating mga pagkakamali. Even I myself, I have committed a lot of mistakes at work. But you know what's more important is kung paano tayo bumangon sa mga pagkakamali natin sa trabaho, sa professional aspect, and kung paano tayo mag-improve and try our best not to commit the same mistakes again. Blaming game isn't effective. Whenever we commit mistakes, we need to learn how to own up to our mistakes instead of pointing fingers to other people. Kasi that will not encourage growth kapag bawat pagkakamali natin, lagi tayong may sisising ibang tao. Number 3, learn how to give and receive feedback. Sa trabaho natin, whenever we deal with our clients and with our bosses, with our managers, and those people who are higher than us, it's really, really important to learn how to receive feedback from them. And if you are someone who is leading a team, it's also important to give feedback. In fact, may mga boss nga na open sila for feedback. In my case, yung boss ko, he is like very open to feedback. Regularly, we tend to give and receive feedback from each other. And that's one thing that's really, really important. Kasi dito natin mas madidiscover ko ano po yung mga bagay na kailangan nating i-improve sa sarili natin. And of course, one thing that is very important when it comes to feedback is not to take things personally. Huwag nating hayaan na pangunahan tayo ng ego at pride natin para hindi tayo mag-improve. Because if we are going to just settle in the comfort zone, there will be no growth. Number 4, your attitude at work greatly matters. I've always been saying this with my followers, no, na attitude is better than aptitude. When we say attitude, ito yung kung paano ka makisama, kung anong klase kang katrabaho. Are you toxic? Are you the person who blames other people whenever you commit a mistake? Or are you someone who can be considered as a team player? Kapag hindi tayo marunong makisama sa mga customers natin, sa mga clients natin, sa mga bosses natin, sa mga managers natin, and even sa team natin, sa mga agents and everyone, we're gonna be having a hard time dealing with the people in the company. Number 5, not all your workmates are your friends, but definitely, you can find a few ones. Hindi lahat ng katrabaho mo ay pwede mong ituring na kapamilya at kaibigan. Kasi sa katunayan, maraming pwede maging caveats kapag tinuring mo ang lahat ng katrabaho mo as your close friends. Kasi syempre, hindi mo rin masabi hanggang kailan sila mag-stay sa company. At ikaw rin, hindi mo rin masabi hanggang kailan ka mag-stay sa company. Kapag nag-resign ang isa sa inyo, pwedeng hindi na talaga kayo mag-usap. So if may separation anxiety ka, it's gonna be a struggle for you. On the other hand, not all of your workmates want what's the best for you. Yung iba dyan, sa totoo lang, gusto lang makita yung pagbagsak mo. Nakakalungkot man isipin, but hindi lahat ng workmates mo will be supportive sa pag-angat mo sa trabaho. But definitely, it's not impossible to find close friends at work. In fact, kapag nakadevelop ka ng legit and genuine na connection sa workmates mo, iba rin yung pakiramdam eh. Mas nagiging magaan yung trabaho lalo na kapag kaibigan mo yung katrabaho mo. But then again, this is just a reminder that don't expect too much at workplace. Number 6, time management is life management. When it comes to our professional careers, I believe that time management is very, very vital if you want to succeed and if you want to thrive at work. If you get easily distracted sa mga bagay-bagay, mahihirapan kang makatapos ng mga malalaki at importanteng mga projects. If you know how to manage your time, that is a stepping stone in order for you to be able to manage your life properly. Number 7, adaptability is key. Aside from being able to manage your time, it is also important to be able to adapt and be resilient to almost any situations. Kasi kapag hindi ka marunong mag-adjust, it's gonna be a challenge for you, especially kapag may mga bagong task na ipapagawa. In my case, as a freelancer, there is this extreme requirement to be able to be adaptable to change, especially if you are in a company that has a very, very busy environment and sobrang daming nangyayari at sobrang daming nagbabago. You have to be resilient. Mahirap? Yes. But as you grow older, as you grow more mature, and as you learn more, mas magkakaroon ka ng improvement sa sarili mo, sa skills mo, na yung mga bagay na akala mo hindi mo kaya mo naman pala. Number 8, build your network. This is one of the most important things that I learned now that I'm 27. Napaka-importante na mag-build ka ng network with quality people. Kung kaya mong makipag-network with people in every industry, gawin mo. Kung meron kang opportunity na makipag-network sa doktor, sa abogado, sa police, sa politiko, sa singer, sa dancer, sa events manager, sa photographer, sa makeup artist, with almost every person in every industry, gawin mo. Your network is your net worth. You never know kung ano yung mga opportunities na pwedeng maghintay sa'yo, especially if you are able to build a good network. It's like in my case, I am working as a freelancer, but on the side, I work as a professional voiceover artist and an events host. So, kapag yung mga friends ko, meron silang mga events, meron silang mga ganap sa buhay nila that would require a voice artist and a host, they refer me. Napakaraming mga projects akong nagawa that are just results of referrals from my friends. So, it's really, really important na habang nagkakaedad tayo, mas palawakin natin yung network natin. Mas palawakin natin yung mga taong nakikilala natin. But let us make sure na yung network natin are with those people na marami rin tayo matututunan at yung mga tao rin na pwede rin nating matulungan in one way or another. And the last professional lesson that I learned is that skills are currency. Kasi marami ang mga opportunities na pwedeng maghintay sa'yo, especially if you are able to master that one skill that you have. So those are the professional lessons that I have learned over the past 27 years. And now let's go to our next point. Practical lessons. Number 1, you miss all the chances that you don't take. So walang pinagkaiba ito sa take the risk or lose the chance, and if you never try, you will never know. Life is full of risks, and life is a series of ups and downs, trial and error, and napakaraming mga experimentation ang ginagawa natin sa buhay natin araw-araw. Pwedeng sa finances, pwedeng sa sarili natin, even with our skincare. Ang dami nating mga trial and error na ginagawa, right? And even with our outfit, tinitingnan natin kung anong bagay sa atin. Even nga sa buho ko, nag-experiment ako ngayon, pinakulayan ko, hindi ako sure kung bagay, but so be it, right? But you know what, the point is, you miss all the chances that you don't take because sometimes, kinakain tayo ng takot natin. And you know what, there are just two things na nagpapabagsak sa tao. Number one, if you are being devoured by your fear, kahit gaano ka ka-talented, kapag pinangunahan ka ng takot mo, you won't be able to thrive and perform well. Pangalawang nagpapabagsak sa tao is pride. Kapag sobrang yabang mo naman, kahit gaano ka kagaling sa isang bagay, kung sobrang yabang mo, yung tipong yung hangin mo umaalingasaw, walang may gustong makipagtrabaho sa'yo. Kahit gaano ka kagaling, kapag puro ka naman kayabangan, you are gonna be having a hard time living your life. The point is, if there's one thing that you want to do it. Baka naghahanap ka ng sign na kung gagawin mo ba ang bagay na to or hindi. This might be the sign. Number 2, it is okay to change your mind. Most of the time, may mga decisions tayo sa buhay natin na minsan di natin pinag-iisipan. Diba? For some weird reason, minsan kapag may mga nasabi tayo na gusto natin ito, gagawin natin ito, pupunta tayo sa ganito, bibilhin natin to, and stuff like that. Kapag na-realize natin yung mga bagay-bagay, kapag nag-sink in na yung reality, doon natin nare-realize na hala, bakit ko sinabi to? Bakit ko ginawa to? So may mga bagay sa buhay natin at may mga instances sa buhay natin na kung saan okay lang kapag nagbago yung isip mo. Okay lang na kung yung paniniwala mo last year ay hindi na pareho. Okay lang na kung meron kang prinsipyo 3 months ago ay nagbago ka na. Iba na yung prinsipyo mo. It's totally okay. Change is the only constant thing in this world. That's why we should also be ready and we should also be aware that at certain instances, it is okay to change your mind. But of course, there should be some extent. Hindi naman pwede na just because nagbago lang yung mood mo yung mga commitments na sinabi mo let's say for example may bigating projects tapos biglang wala ka na sa mood, sasabihin mo lang na hindi na ako magko-commit. Ang point lang natin dito, if on certain situations kapag nagbago ang isip mo, kapag iba na yung pananaw mo sa buhay, that's totally fine. But then again, look at the caveats, look at the possible pros and cons kapag nagbago yung mga decisions mo sa buhay because there will always be consequences kapag nagbago tayo ng mga pananaw at mga desisyon natin sa buhay. Number 3, learn how to exit and quit. In a world where we always hear the encouragement na lumaban lang, one thing that I think that is also important is to learn how to quit, how to stop, and how to exit on a certain situation. Be it sa work, be it sa relationship, be it sa friendship, be it sa isang partnership, be it sa isang agreement. Kapag dumating sa point na ang isang bagay ay nagiging toxic na to the extent na nadidrain ka na sa lahat ng aspeto, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, you should be able to learn how to quit. Quitting is not always equated to being defeated. In fact, acknowledging that you need to stop, you need to exit, you need to quit is bravery for me. That takes so much courage to walk away from a situation that you are no longer comfortable, diba? And for this lesson, one quote that I always remember is, what's the point of running if you're running the wrong road? Number 4, share less than you should. Ako, this is one of the things na nahirapan ako. Because personally, if I start getting attached to someone, kapag naging mas close na ako sa isang tao, I have this unwanted tendency na mag-overshare ng mga bagay-bagay. Yung tipong kapag tinanong lang, kumusta ka? Ang dami ko nang sinasabi. Kapag isang bagay lang tinanong, I tend to like over-explain. I tend to overshare a lot of things na minsan kapag nasabi ko na lahat or di kaya pag uwi ko na ng bahay, saka ko marirealize na bakit ko sinabi yun, di ba? So, one thing that I learned and I'm still in the process of applying this to my life is to share less than you should. Hindi sa lahat ng oras kailangan mong magpaliwanag. Hindi sa lahat ng oras kailangan mong sabihin lahat ng mga bagay. We should learn how to be confidential at times. We should learn how to keep things by ourselves. And we should learn what to say and what not to say. So I think that is very, very important as well. Number 5, embrace differences. Sa buhay natin, hindi pwedeng lahat ng mga makakasalamuhan natin ay kapareho natin. Of course, there will be people na makakasama natin sa work, sa business, sa pamilya, sa isang circle, sa isang event na almost opposite ng personality natin. And when it comes to differences, that includes differences in values, in principles, religions, political views, financial views, and everything. And that's totally okay. We should learn how to mingle with them. We should learn how to coexist with them. If there are certain points that we don't agree agree with them, it's okay. We should learn how to agree to disagree. Hindi sa lahat ng oras kailangan pare-pareho tayo ng pananaw sa mga kaibigan natin. There are times na may prinsipyo yung kaibigan mo na hindi ka agree. But of course, if you want to oppose on something, we should do it respectfully and with the possibility of learning something then. Kasi baka naman pwedeng tama ka or di kaya baka tama sila. Baka ang kailangan mag-adjust ng mindset ay sila or baka naman tayo. I think what's important in this aspect is that you should know what's your common denominator with this person na opposite mo ng pananaw sa buhay. Let's say, pareho kayong gustong maging successful pagdating sa stocks. Magkaiba man kayo ng religious and political views sa buhay. Pero you have this common denominator pagdating sa stocks. You know what I mean? Doon ka mag-focus sa common denominator nyo. Instead na mag-focus ka sa mga bagay na magkaiba kayo. Kasi baka mamaya ang tendency kapag masyado kang naging pushy at proactive na i-insist yung mga bagay na alam mo magkaiba kayo, baka ang ending mag-away pa kayo. Imbes na maging kaibigan mo pa siya at maging network mo pa. Number 6. What you consume matters. So this goes down not just with food. Of course, we are all aware na pagdating sa kinakain, napaka-importante na habang tumatanda tayo, alam natin kung ano yung mga kinakain natin. Kasi this would reflect sa skin natin, sa mood natin, sa katawan natin, at kung paano tayo mabuhay physically, at kung ano yung i-exude ng katawan natin. But not just with food. This also is applicable when it comes to the content that we consume on social media. This also applies sa mga thoughts, sa mga words, at sa mga beliefs that we consume and that we put our mind into. It is really, really important to surround yourself with those people na magiging healthy para sa mental health mo. And at the same time, it is also very, very important to filter everything that you believe on social media. Not everything that we see on social media is true. You know, people can lie, people can pretend. It is really, really important for us na piliin yung mga bagay na dapat nating paniwalaan at yung mga bagay na hindi natin dapat paniwalaan. Because in one way or another, it will affect how we think, how we speak, and how we act. Number 7. Yes. Track your finances. At this age, one thing that I realized that is very, very important is to be able to track your finances. Magkano ang pumapasok na pera galing sa sweldo mo? Magkano ang pumapasok na pera galing sa mga side hustles mo? Magkano ang pumapasok na pera galing sa investment mo? Magkano ang pumapasok na pera galing sa passive income mo and everything? At kung magkano ang lumalabas na pera sa'yo every month? Because the tendency is kaka-deserve natin. Minsan nakakalimutan natin i-track yung finances natin. Sobrang nag-upgrade yung lifestyle natin pero yung income capacity natin hindi sumabay, delikado. That's why as a freelancer, kahit gaano kalaki yung pwede mong kitain sa isang buwan, it is still important to know how to manage and live below your means. And if kaya and if possible, magkaroon ka ng multiple streams of income because since you have multiple ways to spend and you have multiple expenses, why not also have the capacity to get multiple streams of income? Lesson number 8. Take care of your body. Nothing is more important than taking care of your body. And this also includes taking care of your psychological health, not just your physical health, but also your emotional health, your mental health, your financial health, your spiritual health. Take care of everything that is associated with your body. Kasi it wouldn't make any sense kahit gaano ka ka-successful, kahit gaano ka kagaling sa buhay mo, gaano ka ka-talented, kung lahat ng mga ipon mo ay napupunta lang sa sakit, pambayad ng mga gamot. That's why it's a friendly reminder to have enough rest, to eat healthy, to exercise. Especially kapag nagkakaedad na tayo, nothing beats exercise. Exercising is hitting two birds in one stone. Actually, hindi lang two birds, multiple birds in one stone. When you start exercising, yung mood natin nag-i-improve. Yung aside from our physique na mas nag-i-improve kapag nagdamit ka, mas maayos tingnan. Yung health natin, yung stamina natin, hindi tayo mabilis hingalin kasi nag-i-exercise tayo, mas gumagalaw tayo. Diba? So napakaraming benefits ang pag-i-exercise. And that falls under the point na ingatan natin yung sarili natin. Kung tayo, marunong tayo mag-ingat ng mga mahal natin sa buhay, wag natin kalimutang ingatan din yung sarili natin. Okay? So, please take care of your body. And lastly, number 9. Be ready for possible losses. Ito medyo nakakalungkot to, but As we grow older, hindi natin maiiwasan na mawalan ng mga importanteng bagay, tao, at mga oportunidad sa buhay natin. Yung tipong nandun ka pa lang sa part na pinagsusumikapan mong maging matagumpay, pero nakikita mo na yung mga magulang mo tumatanda. Let alone kapag nakita mo na nawala sila. Tapos parang wala ka pa dun sa peak ng success mo. That's hard. But that's the sad reality, especially kapag mas lalo tayo nagkakaedad. As we grow more mature, as we grow older, as we add more years into our lives, let's be ready for possible losses. Again, as I mentioned earlier, change is the only constant thing in this world. Yung mga bagay na na-enjoy natin, pwedeng anytime mawala yan sila. Yung mga opportunities na meron tayo, pwedeng mawala yan sila. Yung trabaho, yung mga kaibigan natin, yung partners and everything. Nakakalungkot man isipin, but there's still this slight possibility na mawala sila sa buhay natin. That's why be ready for possible losses. Pwedeng sa friendship, pwedeng sa relationship, pwedeng sa family, and everything and everyone. That's why it's really, really important to prepare, no? And when it comes to preparation, kasama rito yung pag-prepare natin sa possible na pagkawala ng mga mahal natin sa buhay. So if you have the means, if you have the capacity and the budget, kuhaan mo sila ng life insurance, health insurance, HMO, or kung anong pwedeng maging assistance just in case yung family natin, yung mga importanteng tao sa buhay natin magkasakit, mawala, or kung ano man ang pwedeng mangyari. I'm not an insurance agent, but I am someone who believes in the importance of getting insurance. I'm someone who believes in the importance of getting health insurance, critical illness insurance, HMO. Kasi we'll never know kapag puro savings lang tayo and we don't get those insurances, we're gonna be very, very struggling kapag dumating sa point na isa sa mahal natin sa buhay, kung hindi man tayo, ay tamaan ng malubhang sakit at karamdaman. We are now on our third point. Personal lessons. So last 9 lessons, naka 18 lessons na tayo and may 9 na lang na natitira. So these lessons are the ones that resonate with me on a personal level. So medyo madrama tong part na to, but yeah, sana mapagtiyagaan nyo. Number 1, wherever you are unappreciated, you should also be unavailable. Let me repeat. Wherever you are unappreciated, you should also be unavailable. Kapag hindi mo nararamdaman na sa isang lugar ay na-appreciate ka, there is no reason for you to be available. Be it sa isang situation, sa isang relationship, sa isang friendship, or kung saan man. Kapag hindi mo nararamdaman na pinapalagahan ka ng mga tao sa paligid mo, what's the point na nandyan ka pa? The more you stay in that place, it's just like you're digging your own grave. Mas lalo mo lang pinapahirapan yung sarili mo if you keep yourself always available in those situations that you are not appreciated in. Number 2, teach your heart to accept disappointment. Sa buhay natin, marami tayong mga disappointments na kakaharapin. And in fact, pwedeng tayo rin yung makadisappoint ng mga tao. That's why it is always important not to have too much expectations on anything and anyone. Kapag sobra tayo nag-expect at kapag pumalya yan, wala. For sure, we will be shattered. Number 3, the first person who believes in you should be yourself. Hindi sa lahat ng oras, susuportahan ka ng mga kaibigan mo, ng pamilya mo, let alone your partner mo. Hindi all the time, everyone that you expect to be with you will be supporting you. And as long as there's one person who still believes in you, keep going. And the first person who should believe in you should be you. Kapag ikaw mismo nawalan ka na ng tiwala sa sarili mo, why would you expect other people to also trust and believe in you? Madali? No. Mahirap? Yes. But then again, it all boils down to how we discipline ourselves. Number 4, it is all by God's grace. Yes, I don't want to sound too religious or spiritual, but I acknowledge that everything that has happened in my life over the past 27 years is all because of God's grace. Sobrang dami kong pagkakamali. Ilang beses akong bumagsak, bumangon, natuto. At I am where I am right now. It's all because of God's grace. If it wasn't because of God's grace and mercy, I think hindi ko alam kung baka saan ako pupulutin. So one thing that I just want to share is this mindset or this lesson is something that stabilizes my thoughts. Whenever I tend to overthink, which I do a lot of times, I just find solace and comfort that God protects me. God has a plan for me. So that's why on certain situations wherein my plan doesn't work, kapag may mga gusto akong magawa tapos pumalpak ako, I just acknowledge the fact na, okay, maybe this is not God's will. Maybe this is not God's plan for me because I believe He has better doors and opportunities for me, and that's what comforts me over anything else. Number 5, learn how to take no and learn how to say no. This lesson is kind of hard, especially humans as we are. We have this tendency to struggle kapag may nagsabi ng no sa atin, kapag nireject tayo, at minsan nahihirapan din tayo magsabi ng no. Nahihirapan din tayong mag-reject ng ibang mga tao. But you know what? Just as we don't like everyone, we should not also expect everyone to like us. You know what I mean? There will be moments kung saan kahit ginawa mo na yung best mo, ginawa mo na lahat, pero hindi pa rin siya sapat sa isang tao. Ginawa mo na lahat ng mga bagay na kailangan mong gawin, but then hindi pa rin nakita ng isang tao yung value mo. No pa rin yung sagot. It's totally okay. Hindi naman natin kailangan i-please lahat di ba? Baka nasa maling market ka. Di ba? Parang sa business, di ba? Kahit gaano mo galingan yung produkto mo, kung hindi mo na-reach yung target market mo, mahihirapan kang makabenta. But for those people na nasa target market mo, kahit hindi ka na proactively mag-endorse, kapag nakita ng target market mo na nagpo-provide ka ng ganitong service, sila mismo yung mag-reach out. So, in my 27 years of existence, I would say na I've received a lot of rejections, I've received a lot of no's, and slowly, I'm also learning how to say no on certain events. Hindi lahat ng mga invitations kailangan mag-yes ka. Hindi lahat ng mga utos kailangan mag-yes ka. You should also learn how to set boundaries and how to say no. Kasi if you wouldn't say no, kapag yes ka lang ng yes, at the end of the day, burn out ka lang, madidrain ka lang, ikaw lang din ang mauubos. Number 6, learn how to accept and say sorry. This is still connected with our ego and our pride as human beings. Nahihirapan tayong magpatawad ng mga tao sa buhay natin, especially kapag sobrang lala ng pagkakamali nila sa atin. But you know what? Having an unforgiving heart is just like drinking a poison and expecting another person to die. Kapag natuto tayo magpatawad, mas gumagaan yung pakiramdam natin because we are no longer thinking of the bitter things that have happened. But then again, this is a friendly reminder that just because you forgave someone does not necessarily mean that you have to reconnect with a person. Hindi lahat nasusolve ng pagpapatawad. But you have to forgive, and it is very important to learn how to forgive to also free yourself from the painful thoughts. Sometimes yung taong nagkamali sa'yo, hindi niya deserve mapatawad, especially sa bigat ng pagkakamali niya sa'yo. But you deserve to be freed from the pain. You deserve to be freed from all the thoughts na hindi maganda dahil punong-puno ka ng galit sa puso mo. If you can't do it because you think the person does not deserve it, then do it for yourself. Forgiving someone is very, very important, especially if you would want to maintain a relationship with your partner, with a close friend, with your workmates, with everyone in every aspect of your life. But then again, as what I've mentioned earlier, hindi lahat nasusolve ng pagpapatawad. May mga bagay at sitwasyon sa buhay natin na kahit mag-sorry tayo, we should still be ready and accept the possible consequences ng mga pagkakamali natin. And aside from accepting sorry, we should also learn how to say sorry. Mahirap ba magsabi ng sorry? Yes. Kasi syempre, kapag nag-sorry ka, parang in one way or another, you are acknowledging na nagkamali ka. Importante ba siyang gawin? Of course. And this lesson is something that I have experienced multiple times, na may mga bagay na instead na mas lumala siya, may mga sitwasyon na napapawi ng sorry. Kapag in-acknowledge mo na nagkamali ka, kapag in-acknowledge mo na nagsisisi ka at hindi mo na uulitin, may mga arguments na hindi na natutuloy. Simply because you acknowledge that you committed a mistake and that you are willing to rectify and change for the better. Number 7. Wow, malapit na tayong matapos. Value important relationships and let them know. You know what? I think this is also very important, no? Because life is too short. On an average, mga nasa 70 years old lang ang lifespan ng isang tao. So, we'll never know hanggang kailan natin makakasama yung mga mahal natin sa buhay. Magulang natin, kapatid natin, kamag-anak natin, kaibigan natin, partners kung may mga jowa kayo. I think it's really, really important to once in a while appreciate those important people in your lives. If someone is important to you, let them know. If someone was able to give value and meaning to your life, appreciate that person. Because you'll never know kung anong pwedeng maging mabuting impact ng mga words na yun, ng appreciation mo na yun sa tao na pagsasabihan mo. Just as how we love to hear how we made a good impact on someone's life, the same kind of feeling is there whenever we appreciate those people who are important and valuable to us. Number 8, second to the last. Your time is limited. We don't have forever. Hindi habang buhay malakas tayo. hindi habang buhay matatag tayo. Darating at darating yung araw, manghihina tayo, tatanda tayo. And in fact, at 27, minsan nararamdaman ko na yung mga pananakit ng kasukasuan. Yung tipong konting galaw mo lang may mga tumutunog-tunog na mga joints. And what do I mean by this? Hindi pwedeng habang buhay lang tayo nangangarap. If you want to achieve something, there should be little steps na ginagawa natin if you want to be in that kind of situation. If you want to earn 6 figures a month, the question is, anong ginagawa natin para ma-hit natin yung ganong target? If you want to have a healthy body, ano yung mga bagay na ginagawa natin para magkaroon tayo ng healthy na katawan? If you want to have clear skin, ano yung mga bagay na ginagawa mo? Hindi pwedeng habang buhay mangangarap lang tayo. While it's also important not to pressure ourselves because may iba-iba tayong timeline, of course. Others became successful in their 20s, yung iba 30s, 40s. It's not to compare yourself with another person, but to compare yourself with yourself. Yung tipong, this week, ano bang nag-improve sa'yo? Next month, meron bang nag-improve sa atin? May mga ginagawa ba tayo para marating natin yung pangarap natin? Kasi kung lagi lang tayong nagpaplano without doing any action, it wouldn't make any sense. So if you're looking for a sign to start whatever it is that you're planning, now is the time to start. Because your time is limited. And number 9, last but not the least, of course, kindness and patience go a long way. Bawat isa sa atin, meron tayong mga masasayang araw, may mga malulungkot tayong mga araw. And I don't know kung na-notice ninyo. Minsan, kapag nakikipag-usap ka with someone who seems to be very bubbly, energetic, and the person who seems to be the life of the party, minsan kapag nakausap mo siya ng heart-to-heart talk, marirealize mo na may mga kabigatan pala siyang dinadala. Madalas nga kung sino pa yung palangiti at palatawa, sila pa yung may mga mabigat na pinagdadaanan. So ang point lang natin dito is sa araw-araw na may mga na-encounter tayo mga tao, we have no clear idea kung ano yung mga pinagdadaanan nila in their private lives. Yung mga nakikita natin sa social media who seem to be successful, happy, jovial, and everything. Wala tayong idea kung ano yung mga struggles na meron sila kapag mag-isa na lang sila at kapag tahimik na lang sila. That's why it is always important to treat everyone with kindness and patience. Kasi we'll never know Baka yung tao pala na sinigaw-sigawan mo yan na lang yung last chance na binigay niya para sa sarili niya. You know what I mean? We have no idea about the struggles na meron ang bawat isa sa atin. That's why by default, it is important to be respectful to everyone, to be patient, and to be kind. Kasi hindi natin alam yung simpleng smile pala natin sa kapwa natin ay pwede nang makapagpabago ng araw niya. Yung kabutihan na ginawa natin sa isang tao ay pwede nang magsilbing pag-asa para sa kanya kasi baka nanghihina na siya and he or she is just looking for something positive to trust humans again, diba? Kasi may mga time sa buhay natin, diba, na kapag sobra-sobra sunod-sunod yung mga problema na nangyayari, parang minsan nawawala na tayo ng pag-asa. But then if someone is out there, tapos biglang ginawan tayo ng mabuti, parang, may pag-asa pa pala. Diba? So I believe that kindness and patience go a long way, and I will try my best on my 27th year to practice this principle. So that's it. Those are the 27 lessons that I learned over the past 27 years of my existence. I hope that you learned something, and if you are still here, if you are still watching and listening to this content, I hope magkaroon ka ng clear skin towards the end of the year at makumpleto mo ang iyong 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. Yeah, since it's my birthday, I would like to request one thing sana, no? And I will consider this na lang as your gift for me. Na out of 27 lessons that I shared with you, what is one thing that resonated with you the most? Ano yung pinaka-lesson na sa tingin mo pwede mo ring may apply sa buhay mo at na-experience mo na? And if you have time, please share a little bit sa comment section. And I will check the comment and I will try to the best possible way that I can to respond to your comments. Yun lang, maraming salamat and see you again on our next video. Bye!